Away and running. Slow to go is catch him and free him. It's a four-pronged battle for that early lead, and Mohey Hennessy wins the battle early on. Dr. Rogers right there holding second, and Air Kenny came away in that third place position. Nature of the Beast tracks the speed from fourth, but is very wide on the muddy surface. Vegas Playboy has one beaten, and Catch him and free him botched it at the start. They point towards the 3.5 furlong point, and Dr. Roger takes the fight to Mohey Hennessy on top of the far turn. These two continue their pace tug of war past the 3 furlong pole. Dr. Roger with a gray neck in front. Moe Hennessy tries to dig deep and find more. Air Kenny now shoved upon in that third place position, soon to be passed by Vegas Playboy as they turn for home. Dr. Roger had first run, but Vegas Playboy is emerging from out of the crowd, and Moe Hennessy is in for the fight too. Air Kenny just at this one pace as Dr. Roger slipped away inside the final furlong to lead by two. Vegas Playboy's making up a stack of ground at a leg-weary leader, but that leg-weary leader's holding on, and Dr. Roger has won it over Vegas Playboy, Catch him and free him, and then came Nature of the Beast. Away and running to a picture-perfect start. Claw was the first one to break the line. Mr. Winston gets shoved upon early, and kid you not is fanned three deep around this first of two left turns. Hop and Scotch rides the rail. King of Dreams is in between rivals in a close-knit group, and Guillaume would have to pass them all at the 6.5 furlong point, and Mr. Winston had to work hard to get to the lead, but gets to the paint and shows the way by two. Claw's a patiently ridden second, and it's a three-pronged attack right behind Claw. The one in the yellow is King of Dreams. The rail belongs to Hop and Scotch, and kid you not has had a very wide trip thus far. And last of all, past the 5 furlong point is Guillaume. So Mr. Winston's nice and relaxed past the 4.5 furlong point, and the lead is two shortening lengths. King of Dreams is right there with the money on, and Claw's also right there in the thick of it too. Hop and Scotch is 3 lengths down, comes under a loose rein to get closer and responding sweetly. Kid you not's not responding, and Guillaume still whips him in. 3 furlongs to go. Mr. Winston coming back to the face of the field, and Hop and Scotch is poised to pounce, taking the trail up the rail. King of Dreams is 3 wide, Claw faded, and Guillaume is starting to pick off rivals one by one, but is in fourth with a quarter to go, and Hop and Scotch turn the tables over Mr. Winston. They're homeward bound, and Hop and Scotch is hopping over the muck and the goo today, and has an unassailable lead. King of Dreams is trying to cling on to second. Guillaume is closing in for the minors. Mr. Winston's holding on to fourth, but at the 16th pole at 8-1. Hop and Scotch was second to yawn. Guillaume was second, King of Dreams third, and Mr. Winston was fourth. Away and running. They all broke on an even line too. Shack's Way draws first. Nichiren is a tracking second, and Ego Man's going to be off the pace today, and Colonel Bowman's right there too, but chasing the two long shots passing the 4 furlong pole. And Shack's Way is the dictating speed down to the 3.5 furlong point, and Nichiren is right there getting closer too, and the two chalks are last. The rail belongs to Ego Man, and Colonel Bowman has to close from last, but only a length and a half would cover tip to tail in a compact field. They go down towards the quarter pole, and Nichiren continues to call the shots, and Shack's Way scrapes that paint, and now Colonel Bowman's poised to play that hand. Ego Man's up the fence, they're stacked across the track, homeward bound, and up the inside, Ego Man kicks for the money. Shack's Way has no more to give. Colonel Bowman just did not have a winning response today. Now the winner of 3 in a row, Ego Man has scored first over Colonel Bowman, Shax's Way, and Ichiren. Away Yan running. Good speed from Eden's Gigi, who drew the rail today. There's the yellow cap of Ritz on Broadway. Fix It Alone is shoved on through, and so is Bobby Two Steps. And Nosey's also a part of that four-pronged battle up top to be in fifth. Hippodia has two beaten, which is Morica, and the trailer is Spruce Run. Three of them fight for that early lead past the half-mile pole, and Eden's Gigi calls the shots today and shows the way by only a neck. Bobby Two Steps right there breathing down that rival's neck, and she chases in second. Face It Along comes in under steady drive now, and Ritz on Broadway's four deep, and Amorica rides that rail. Nosy has two beaten. Hippodia just did not respond today, and neither did Spruce Run. Inside the quarter pole, and Eden's Gigi still going comfortable, but dealing with the oncoming presence of Face It Alone and Ritz on Broadway. Inside the final furlong, Eden's Gigi is giving this field something to think about with a 3-length break. Face It Alone is giving game chase in second, but 8-5, the late money was spot on here. Eden's Gigi has scored first. Face It Alone was second, Ritz on Broadway third, and Nosy was fourth. Away Yan running. Good speed from the long shot Dusted, who drew the rail. There's Hot Bottom Girl taking over the early lead. And Wine in the Dark is going to be fanned very wide thanks to Peacefire and Divine Promise. Magnolia Road is in front of Savior Tears, who's last of all. It's a real close-knit field as they swing left for the first time over the muddy going today. And Hot Bottom Girl emerges from out of the crowd with a half-length lead. Divine Promise is on hold in that second place position. And Peacefire in the all-black had to check hard. Deep on the track is Wine in the Dark in that joint third place position, and Dusted is a ground saving third now. Peacefire came away in fifth after having to steady in front of Save Your Tears, and Magnolia Road is last of all. Down to the 5 furlong pole they race, and it's Top Bottom Girl, and gets a stern test today from Divine Promise, who now takes the leading role as that half-mile pole looms. Wine in the Dark is 3 wide, and Save Your Tears has had a 4-wide trip but starts to advance. Peacefire's nice and settled to pick off Hot Bottom Girl. Second last Magnolia Road, and Dusted the long shots last of all. They swing the far turn, and it's Wine in the Dark who calls the shots. Save Your Tears is right there shadowing the speed, and Peacefire getting on track in a big way too. Divine Promise has no more to give. Those are the 4 principles as that quarter pole quickly passes by, and Save Your Tears now kicks away from Wine in the Dark, and Peacefire continues this long sustained bid, is 7 wide but has momentum. They swing off the turn and race for home. Save Your Tears leading by a nose at best. Peacefire continues to grind out a winning effort here, and Peacefire hits the front. Save Your Tears digging deep but has no late response, and despite first turn trouble, Peacefire is a 6-1 winner. Save Your Tears was second, Wine in the Dark third, and Dusted finished fourth. Away and running. Stumbling a bit was Chris and Dave, but recovered after that. And artistic reason is also right there, and so is the Sakari, and the pace is keen. And those are the first three as they settle down. Behind a wall of speed is Miracle Silver, and buried deep on the track is Doing It the White Ray. In front of three rivals here, which is Fearless Fly, What's to Blame, and Lifespan's at the back of the pack. So the pace is now settled in the opening 2 furlongs, and the early leader is Artistic Reason. Takes the inside trail to lead by half a length. Chris and Dave, looking for 3 wins in a row, is right there in a position to challenge in second. And Doing It the Right Way is covering a lot of ground but has no mud in front of his face. There's a gap of only a neck down to the Sakari, who's making a bold middle move. And Miracle Silver's right there in the hunt too. Those are the first 5 past the 4 furlong pole. What's to Blame still in front of 2, which is Lifespan. And nothing yet from Fearless Fly. The longest price on the board is last. 3.5 furlongs to go, and now the pace starts to pick up. Doing It the Right Way's the widest runner. Chris and Dave is in for the fight in those yellow blinkers, and Artistic Reason tries to dig deep and find more. What's to Blame is closing in with good energy. The Sakari's right there too. Deep on the track is Lifespan. The rail is Miracle Silver, and Fearless Fly is dropped to the tail. They put the quarter pole behind him, and Doing It the Right Way kicks for home and has a break of 3/4 of a length. Chris and Dave will try to counter, but here comes the Sakari, who is always traveling well. Takes the inside route to put those red blinkers in front. Doing It the Right Way is going to test him inside the final 16th of a mile. The Sakari led. Doing It the Right Way tries to fight back. The Sakari got it. The Sakari's 14-1 over Doing It the Right Way. What's to Blame in Chris and Dave? Away and running. Slow to go was Grunion today. Good speed in the center from Mintanon. Morales' Little Kid is right there, and so is My Big Drama, and the pace is hot. King Joey is right there in a position to challenge with 7.5 furlongs to go. And Logan's Runner sits the trip while a ground-saving 5th. Silent Mode came away in 6th. Deep on the track is LT's Jack in the Box in front of 2, which is Grunion. And Mad Doctor is near the back half of the field as Principe is third last. They leave the first turn behind, and King Joey from that outside stall number 14 shows the way, and that lead is 3 expanding lengths. Mentenon takes up the chase at joint second, and My Big Drama is off the fence in a joint second now, and up the inside Morales' Little Kid is right there too. Logan's Runner continues this dream trip of good enough as they race down to the 4.5, and Principe gets shoved upon but not responding. Silent Mode tries to pick off that rival in front of Grunion, Mad Doctor, and LT's Jack in the Box has been relegated to the tail. 3.5 furlongs to go, and there goes Morales' Little Kid, who can wait no more. Morales' Little Kid now inherits the lead, trying to battle his Logan's Runner right there with the run of the race. My Big Drama comes under a ride. King Joey has no more to give. Principe and Silent Mode around the bend with a quarter to go. Logan's Runner now hits the lead. Morales' Little Kid tries to dig in for the fight in second. They're off the turn, they spin in, and Logan's Runner has kicked away from the opposition. And if you back the one, go to the windows, you'll be the first in line. Morales' Little Kid trying to hold second. Silent Mode's late on the scene. Principe at a big price is rolling late, but too little too late to catch a 7-2 winner. And Logan's Runner just crushed the opposition today. Over Silent Mode, Morales' Little Kid, and then came Principe. and they are all in and locked up. Away and running. Terrible start for Term. Great speed from Grand Manor today and Simpson Bay. Up the inside, one handsome dude is now third. And on the far outside, luckily Leighton came away in fourth. Mr. Cowboy Bradley tracks the speed of that quartet from fifth. Silver R's near the backfield. And Term is a distant last. Down to the 3.5 furlong pole they race, and it's Simpson Bay, the leader today, and shows the way by 1.5 expanding lengths. Grand Manor takes up the chase now in second, and one handsome dude stays at that muddy rail to no avail. Luckily, Leighton slowly drops away, soon to be passed by Mr. Cowboy Bradley. Silver R second last, and Term's dropped off. Inside the quarter pole where Simpson Bay continues to lead, and slightly drifting out. Grand Manor right now the only threat inside the final 3/16 of a mile. Simpson Bay holding on to a tenuous lead. Grand Manor's trying to confront and go up and past, and does inside the final 16th of a mile at 7-5. Grand Manor takes down the lucky last over Simpson Bay, Mr. Cowboy Bradley, and one handsome dude.